So the reason we chose Call of Duty was because it was a game that I was playing at the time, that I was sort of interested in competitively, that I wanted to play for the university.
So for us it was important to make it because we saw a gap where there were lots of COD players. Everybody plays COD. I remembered playing COD as a kid and I loved it. Lots of other people play COD. We played Warzone, all these other things, and there were all these mini one-day, evening tournament things that happened, but there was no seasons for it.
The reason that we made the league initially was because of the lack of support for Call of Duty,
and we wanted we were enjoying COD at the time so much, and we were like, well, why isn't there a league for this? And we thought, well, why not? Let's go.
And we look over at North America, and they've got a really big scene for their university students. So it was something that we wanted to try and start developing in the UK.
And we did. So that was sort of our decision behind it. It was like, there's a gap here. We want to be able to compete against other people. How can we go about doing this? So we did it.
Keep himself from going down. Tex going to aggressive. The escalator does get taken down by Moliv. And Luke Vantage now the man to get tested, but he's not looking the correct way.
When Luke came up to this idea, I think he wanted to grab the people around him who he knew could help him achieve his goals. So obviously Mo being the society president and knowing quite a bit about this stuff, Mo was an obvious choice. He knew that I had experience creating and moderating Discords. He knew that I had the technical expertise to be able to sort of run something like this. And I think that's why when these are the guys, I trust them. We became friends at this point. I hadn't actually met Luke in person until April, until the beginning of April, where I cleaned his PC for him. That was sort of the first time I met Luke in person, which was quite funny.
So what I did was I just drafted up a league on Excel with some tables, a point structure, shared it with Mo, and he liked it. So
season 1 started basically with me and Luke talking about how we can start this thing. Because I'm the president of the UE Esports Society, I have contacts all over the UK of basically other presidents of esports societies. So I had a talk with some of those, and I said, look, we're trying to make a Call of Duty scene. Would your university be interested?
We drafted the league, we showed it to those who were active and interested in your Discord. So it was Sheffield Hallam and Royal Holloway, and they both signed up for it as well. And it was just a sort of a little thing for a few of us, just something for us to do until there was something bigger.
4 or 6 unis, I can't remember, and about 8 teams originally. Went down to 6 by the end of it because a few teams dropped out because of players and other issues, but that doesn't really matter. So season 1 was it was an Excel spreadsheet. We ran GAs as you had to run them, so that was my first introduction to COD GAs because I'd never done that before. So I had to basically learn this on the fly, but it was GAs only. It was a league ran on a spreadsheet that everybody could see. Every week Luke would update it with the scores.
The content that we had was one stream a week, but the stream would have 2 games in it. And yeah, that was all of the content that we had.
There was no sort of formal, you play on this day. It was a lot more, you have to play by the Thursday, I believe. So you can either play on the Thursday or during that week. If for some reason you can't play that week, you can catch up the next week. But if you catch up the next week, it has to be before you played your next game. So there are all these little rules and regulations. There was no clear-cut structure to it, like there is now, or like you'd see in a normal Newell NSC tournament or general tournament ever, like College COD, for example.
It was season 1 that we sort of used to show Newell and NSC of how we can operate, the potential the league has and the potential Call of Duty has. So the fact that season 2 was as big as it is, I think sort of shows just how good season 1 went.
16 teams, 1 title.
And he takes Skyfox down.
A chance to go down in esports history.
And he peeks out. It was perfect timing. Let's focus back towards the ramp side and gets another 2 kills.
Join us as we go on a mission to find the UK's Call of Duty talent. Welcome to the University Call of Duty League.
So season 2 happened pretty much as soon as season 1 ended. So as soon as season 1 ended, we spoke to both Newell and NSE and we said, look, we've done this before. Admittedly, it was only 3 universities, but there's clearly interest here because we've managed to get 6 teams from 3 universities. So we pitched it to those guys. They posted on their social medias about it and they promoted it as well. And I think the word got out into the amateur scene of Call of Duty as well. So we had a lot of amateur players who've played in like other leagues, amateur leagues that aren't university based. They heard about this and they jumped on the bandwagon. They made their own university team and the rest is history.
So season 2 was based off a group stage. So 2 brackets, 2 groups. Swiss is basically every team plays every team, and then they amass points based off of that. Then it went into the playoffs, which was a sort of winners bracket. So you start off in the winners bracket, and then if you lose, you go into the lower bracket. If you lose again, then you're out. So it was. You had the winners bracket final, which was basically the top 2 teams in the winners bracket who hadn't lost a game yet. Those 2 played each other. Then losers bracket was whoever lost 1 at the beginning but hasn't lost 1 since. They'll be playing against the loser of the winners bracket final. And then whoever won that goes to the grand final, which is sort of the big finale, who wins, who's the best team in the UK at the moment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the University Call of Duty live finals. We're starting off with the losers bracket final, then we're moving on into the winners grand final. The big showdown, the clash of the titans. SNG will be playing either Sheffield, as in Sheffield Hallam, or Chilabuff or Chichester University.
We definitely increase stream coverage. We always try and make it so each team is streamed an even amount. And I think on the fact that the audience has grown quite a lot over season 2. So we sort of average anywhere between sort of 25 to 50 viewers a stream, and the average is getting higher throughout the season. So I think that fans are appreciating the stream. They are sort of tuning in to see what happens to the teams within the scene.
Trying to sort of get the production up to standard was tough, and credit to Luke, he did an incredible job whilst he was doing it. And the audience reacted extremely well. People seemed to really enjoy it. I kept getting messages every week, all week. Are we being streamed? When are we being streamed? Can we be streamed? This game will be good to stream. Can you put this game on stream?
So I don't think the audience expected any of this from us, really. I think what they signed up for was to play 2 games a week. If they signed up to both tournaments, then to play 4 games a week. And then just that was it. The fact that we then provided them with a stream, we provided them with weekly and bi-weekly content. I mean, if you just look at our YouTube channel.
Welcome to Headshot.
Hello, I am joined by Luke Vantage, a player for the UCD.
I didn't expect it to get as big as it did in Newell. NSC was sort of the level I expected it to be at. It got so much bigger in Newell than I ever thought it would, and I am very happily surprised with that, and it was a very nice thing to find out whenever I check on the Newell website.
We were hoping for, we told you, 16 teams maximum with the free agents. We ended up with 18 teams plus 2 free agent teams. Bit of controversy there, but with the 20 teams with the free agent team, which was more than we expected, and even more people in the Discord who joined and just subbed in for when teams didn't have a player, and sort of that created a more of a community. But in terms of actually how quickly it's grown, I mean, it surpassed expectations.
The size of the tournament right now is it's making players nervous for the finals. We didn't have a huge prize pool, but the prize pool that we did have for sure made teams try their hardest. They wanted to be the champions of the league. I had the pleasure of interviewing both the champions of the league, one champion for Newell, one champion for NSE, and yeah, you could hear from both captains that, you know, they had off games where you know, something got the better of them, and their motivation wasn't almost there to kind of to overcome that thing. So yeah, it's definitely at a place where nerves nerves can lose you a game.
Sheik takes him out. It's 1v4. It's up to Magic. If Magic needs to 1v4 this to keep him in it, Magic takes down Ali. This has to be a miracle right here. It has to be an absolute miracle. And he doesn't. And SNG are your Season 1 UCD Newell champions. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching right now SNG take the title and Chichester going out in the grand finals.
Doing this interview, for example, gets me more excited. I just want to get going. I'm not. It's not daunting or nerve-wracking anymore. It's more anticipation to get going.
So there's definitely going to be some rivalries between the teams in Season 3 that have developed throughout Season 2. So keeping an eye on those will be interesting for viewers. Hopefully the increased production will also bring more viewers in that viewers can enjoy and sort of appreciate.
So yeah, for Season 3, we've had a big chat with the founders and what we want from it, as well as what we think that our players want from Season 3 as well. Obviously, it's going to be a summer tournament, which is notoriously undersubscribed. So we're not sure how many people are actually going to sign up for the summer tournament, but hopefully we'll have roughly the same numbers we did this season.
Hopefully, going to be trying to get a brand new production team.
We'd like all the teams playing for the entirety of the tournament. We'll still get the best teams that qualify to a kind of playoff stage, but instead of them getting eliminated, I think they'll get put down to a lower bracket.
We're creating what's called the best of the rest. So if you don't make playoffs, for example, all those teams that didn't make it will then enter what's called a Swiss league of best of the rest. So it's basically a big group, everybody plays everybody. Whoever wins the most matches, they will get top. They'll become 9th place, essentially. So you've got your top 8, which will be your playoff stages, then you'll have 9th, 10th, and you'll be able to see where you come in the rankings. So you'll know how close you are to making playoffs. So you'll know if you're almost there and what you need to do, sort of thing.
We've decided to go with just Newell for Season 3, so players will only be playing 1 day a week instead of 2. This might cut down the overall content from streams and things like that, but we think it will produce higher quality content, because instead of having X team in this tournament and Y team in this tournament, everyone will be playing in the same tournament. They'll all be facing off against the same opponents, people. It basically brings the community more together than breaking away into 2 different tournaments.
So free agents is changing. It's no longer going to be a free agent system. So we want to keep the ability for unis who don't have full teams to be able to play, but it won't be sort of one person can join any team. It's going to be, you have to be 2 people from the same uni, and then 2 people from another uni, and they both have to be the same uni as well. So it's going to be 2 different unis playing as a 4.
So yeah, we've definitely talked about sponsorships. We've had a think about who we can maybe try reach out to, maybe try and contact, and all I can really say is just watch this space and just we'll hopefully surprise you all.
We want to bring LAN events to the league. We want to be able to do maybe the grand final at the LAN event at the end of a day, sort of. We do a day of everybody playing, and then we do the grand final to finish off the day, sort of thing. Then everybody goes to the pub afterwards. But something like that would be really awesome. But we do want to get the LAN event sorted. It's just COVID.
And us definitely being a bit of a bummer for some of the players who would like to sort of meet up in person and play against each other in person, especially those teams where the universities are quite close to each other. But yeah, I think we've made the best out of the situation at hand.
College COD would be the ideal world. I mean, you look at College COD in the US, all these universities playing in a year-long league. That would be really awesome if we can do a similar thing, but in Europe. So we have the European COD scene. Bring all of those together, because obviously esports is growing in Europe, but it hasn't sort of reached the level of the US. European sort of esports isn't at the level of, sort of that that American sort of, grandiose production and everything else. So what would be really awesome is we could get into that sort of stage. Obviously that's far in the future, but it would be really awesome if we can grow it to the entirety of the UK, so we get a lot more teams, maybe have 60 teams eventually playing, who knows, and then maybe expanding all the way out.
Possibly, there's definitely the potential there. The NA scene is very well funded, and it's definitely been a long time in the making in the NA scene. But there's a lot of people in the UK who enjoy playing COD. They enjoy the game. They have a passion for the game. So I think over time, as we learn how to officiate these tournaments more, and that we learn sort of how to get the word out there more, then hopefully we can eventually grow the scene.
So on a more personal level, I think this league was basically my final hurrah, if you will.
I mean, it's become like my baby now. I wake up, I check Unicod UK chat. I go to bed, I check it. I don't know, it's like, yeah, I have my job, I have uni, but then I've got College COD, which is like my other job. I love it. I don't know, it's just like, it's become something that I'm proud of, that I can't believe has happened. It's sort of come out of nowhere. I had no plans in my life to sort of run a league. Never even thought about it.
But I've made not on my own, but I have made something fantastic that has not only grown but really flourished and created a community around it as well. So yeah, it is something I'm amazingly proud of, and I know that the other founders would say the same as well.
How we have all these people, the friends I've made along the way as well, who I'm still making as we progress, all these people that I now know that I didn't know before from all these different unis, that some unis I'd never even heard of, I've now found out about. So it's sort of, yeah, I don't know, I'm just really proud of it. It's like my baby, as I said. It's just mine. Not really mine, it's ours, but